I would request all of you to switch off your phones for the duration of the lecture to not cause any sort of disturbance. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending today's lecture. My name is Purvi. I am currently a third year student studying in CND, and I would be the host for today. I would have the honor of introducing Mr. Professor C.N. Kaul for conducting his lecture. Um, so today is a very interesting moment because you see faculty and alumni sitting as students to listen to Professor C.N. Kaul. So this is how your heritage or lineage has been, and it's a great pleasure to invite you on stage. Professor C.M. Kaul has taught the first class at Triple IT almost 25 years ago in 1998, has around 35 years of teaching experience at IIT Kharagpur, has gotten his PhD there as well, has visited America as a visiting associate professor and Germany for 2 years as a senior Alexander Humboldt Fellow. I had the honor of talking to Professor Cian Call just before this, and he said how he shifted domains. His original love was organic chemistry, and then eventually shifted into mathematics. I think one important lesson that I learned from talking to him today was he said how teaching is beyond just imparting material knowledge. It is beyond just spreading word or teaching about the material or the providing mathematics as a tool for you to study, but more about awakening a person's mind, intellect, as well as personality. And with these words, I would like to invite Professor Cian Kaul on stage to start his lecture, and I'm sure all of you guys are looking forward to it. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think that's fine. Thanks for the applause, but that's being formal. I've stood at this stage so often. and I think it's a little formal. The students here these days, I go back how the institute started. These days, the students entering, it's a coveted institute now, not that much back in 1998. I remember that Sri Chandrababu Naidu, that is what I heard at that time, had been in America back in 1998, and he met a number of Indian students there and saw them at Silicon Valley. And he questioned some of them, why can't we have such an institute here in India? And the answer he got was that you don't have a good institute. And Sri Chandrababu Naidu decided then and there, this is what I heard, I don't know the veracity, and when he came back, he decided he'll start an institute, and this institute, this is the new building, the old building where it started and remained for till 2007 or 8, was meant for the district magistrate of Hyderabad. He changed it, that the institute would start here. And he assigned Mr. Ajay Suhani, an IS officer who was, if I remember correctly, was Deputy Secretary, IT, in then undivided Hyderabad state. And if I remember correctly, Mr. Chaudhary was the Secretary IT at that time. Chandrasekhar, yeah, sorry. And Mr. Ajay Swani was also the acting director of this institute, though Mr. Rajiv Gandhi or Professor, not Rajiv Gandhi, Professor Rajiv Sangal was working in some company here. He had a contract. And so he was helping him to bring up this institute. And Mr. Ajaswani was kind enough to ask me to join this institute. And he would not have come had he known that when I was in class 3, I failed in a subject which you can guess. I'm sure you would not have. But I don't know. Somehow, my father had some tutor for me to teach maths, and I was good at mechanically adding and subtracting. But when you close that question in words, I made some bungling and failed. And the tutor was helped me to pass. I don't know, he must have met somebody or the man, and they asked me. I didn't know that. The funny thing is, the same teacher, when I don't know what happened to me, that when I was in the 5th class, suddenly my interest was awakened. And from 5th class to all through my career, I used to clear maths paper, 3 hours paper in 2 hours. Interestingly, when I was in 7th standard, the same teacher was invigilating. And it was a maths paper. I cleared it in 2 hours and jauntily walked out. He was the invigilator. He asked me, You remember? I clean said, no, I don't. When I reached home, told my brothers, they rebuked me. You are a very ungrateful person. And I told them, I don't know. I didn't go to him to pass me or help me. I don't know what he did. And I said, I don't know. Funnily, after my MSc, and before I moved over to IIT Kharagpur to do my doctorate, I was a lecturer at Government College Ajmer, and I was invigilating. And the same teacher who had a BA degree had come to appear in an MA exam, and I was invigilating. And as a token of goodwill, I helped him. And after the exam was over, time was over, I allowed him to write. I said, don't worry, go on writing. So the moral is, help others. It, I strongly believe, I strongly believe in the law of karma. As I was telling you, Mr. Ajaswani would not have probably called me to join this institute had he known this. That is the reason. I was so lenient with the student. In fact, one TA of mine later yes, accused me, said, you are too lenient. I said, you don't know, because I failed in mathematics. And and I don't want to trample on the intellect of any student, which may be sleeping, when that intellect and personality will awaken, I don't know. That's the reason I was always very lenient as very lenient. When I joined this, and the institute started on 2nd September, but I take you 15 days back. I and Mr. Swani were to interview the students. We had advertised, and a number of students with their parents had come. And they were very apprehensive because we didn't have the power to award the degree. And we plainly told them that we have the power only to give you a diploma. And they were disappointed that after studying 4 years, they will get a diploma only. Mr. Swani told me in Hindi, "Bhai, ye bhag jayenge, tum bolo." And he must have told the same thing to Mr. Rajiv, who was there. I remember I told them, look, and those students and their parents were bemoaning that my son didn't get in IIT and you will give us diploma. Personally, they were telling us. So Mr. Swani asked me to speak. I remember I telling them that how IIT has got the name. The students went out and did well in 60s and 70s and 80s and all over the world. They asked, where are the students from? And the answer was IIT. And that is how IIT became famous. Similarly, you will bring the name to this institute, this one, and we shall get the reflected glory. And finally, I said, my advice to you is jump. This was my last word. Some years later, one student who was from Bareilly, I remember, I forget his name, he went to MIT and he came to see me and he said that your last word, jump, made me jump. I said, look, I didn't misguide you. In the around 15th of August, middle of August, the students were asked to come and we interviewed. I and Mr. Swani interviewed. They, all of them had come with the mother, father, or both. There was only one student, Asif Raj, I remember, who had come. He was from Jodhpur, if I remember. And I, Asif, are you there? No, he's not there. And I was surprised this chit of a boy of 14, 15 has come all the way from Jodhpur to Hyderabad. He must have changed the place, train at Ahmedabad. There was no direct train from Jodhpur to Hyderabad. And I asked him that, how did you come? And Asif was so much on my mind, and the impression that in that year, it was the talk of the student, Asif is my favorite student. In fact, there were other. One Molly was there, who is currently in Seattle, I suppose. He had a CGPA of 9.2. And more than that, there was another boy, tall boy from Delhi, who had a CGPA of 9.8. And Arun, and and my words came prophetic that you will make the name because after 4 or 5 years, I forget which university he went. That professor wrote to me, please send some more of your students. I put that notice on the notice board, and there was another boy, I forget his name also, who went to Columbia University. And Sujit, he married his own classmate. No, Sujit. And if he were there, I was to ask him, did he attend the lectures or still some professor of economics is there who is very good in mathematics. Still, STIT or something like that. In the summer of 1999, the first year classes and exams were over on 2nd May. And somewhere in the middle of May 1999, I was here to pick up some books from the library. And I found a number of our first year boys in the library or in the corridor. And I asked them, have you not been to your home? And their answer was, we have been there. 1 week we were there, and we have come back so that we can learn some other computer language. And I thought, who can stop these boys? The summer of May 1999 was very hot. There was hardly any hostel or mess arrangement. I don't know where they were eating, but if they had that much will, nobody can stop them. Because ultimately, as time has shown, a number of our students have gone and made a name for themselves. And the first year we had taken 50 students only. The second, we took 100 students, admitted 100 students. And there were a number of brilliant students there. Vipul Kedia was one, Nishkala was another. There was one student, Handa, scintillatingly brilliant. He had some abdomen problem. Handa was there. He had scintillatingly. And there's this boy, Arnachalam, and he was also very brilliant. He worked for in some company here, and then he went to Chicago. And the last I heard from him was that he was going to do a course in mathematical economics and go to Wall Street. I had a chat with Arunachalam once. He was a brilliant student. And I had a chat with him. I told him, you people are so lucky. In my time, our exams used to take place after 2 years. And by the time the exams would come, we'll forget all we learned 2 years before. For you, I teach. I set the paper. I examine the papers. And if I set a question out which I have not covered, you will come and tell me you have not taught this, you have put it in the. We didn't have this. If I were in your place, I'll get A throughout. And his answer was interesting. He said, you will become like us. I was lucky to have the admiration, respect, and if those students will allow me, love for me. I had a nice time here, meandering in this intellectual garden. Now, I'm nearing the end of the road. And in the moments, and in the evening of my life, in the moments of sweet silence, I remember my days at Triple IIT, Hyderabad. Thank you. I'll go that way. I'll go that way. Yeah, please. If I know the answer. Yeah, if I know the answer. In my mathematics class, I used to tell them there were doubts and thank you.
It's not a question. I still remember the dinner that you gave at your home and
Sir, there is one student of yours, Lalita, who says, I still remember the dinner that you gave at your home and taught us how to greet people with a professional shake hand.
I'm glad and also sorry that I could not invite the others. The first year batch I did invite because they were only 15 number. I divided the number in two batches. Next year they were hundreds of them. And I still regret that I could have invited them all throughout the semester. But there was another reason. My wife had developed knee pain and she couldn't stand. And when we invite somebody, she herself cooks. Otherwise, on other days, वो चलता है, our maid servant cooks for us. But when I invite somebody, she herself cooks. In fact, Mr. Swani, I wanted to invite you sometime to show my grateful thanks for having invited me. My wife had developed the pains and she couldn't stand even. And she underwent knee surgery. But still, you know, that thing has not come. And so that is that. But yes, that's a regret with me also. But it so happened that my wife knee pain and the surgery, and she has not quite recuperated with it. I could not. And as I told, she used to cook herself. I hope that answers. And my regrets, I would have known them better.
Hi, sir. I'm very happy to meet you in Silver Jubilee of Triple ITH. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't get you.
I'm very happy to meet you in our college Silver Jubilee. So, what keeps you inspiring, either in lecturing, as a professor, or in life? What keeps you inspiring?
Life is so lovely and sweet. And I still read mathematics at home. And I have a library of my own. Until 2, 3 years back, before COVID, I used to come to the library and work. But now I can't drive and I don't come. And I hope, I was telling my wife, when I'm no more, you present this book to the library. I have a big library of maths book. Some of them are in German, some are in Romanian. And those books are not here, and they are quite valuable. At least I found them valuable. Any other?
Yeah, so I had a question.
Yeah, please.
I mean, we know that you are from the North Kashmir, and then you spent most of your the initial career in Kharagpur.
Yeah.
Then after retirement, how did you decide to come and settle down in Hyderabad? That's something that you did not. You probably have said the story outside, but what was it?
See, this question was asked by my director of IIT Kharagpur, where before I left Kharagpur, they had made me emeritus professor. After I retired, they had made me emeritus professor for 5 years. But my daughter was studying there. So after 2 years, after she had completed her MS, I thought it's time to go. And the real reason was, after staying in Kharagpur for so many years, 35 years, I was very scared to go to any place. And my mother was staying with me. She was in her 92 or so at that time. And my wife said, we had better move from here. She is now moving. If she is level to bed, it will be difficult to shift her. We had better move. And I was lucky to have Mr. Swani, who invited me to this place. God above, I am Mr. Swani below.
We are also very thankful that you finally decided to move here.
Yeah, cannot but share something about Professor Kaul. One thing he has already mentioned, I visited him last year. And they are close personal friends also of me and my wife and Professor Kaul and Mrs. Kaul. And he's reading mathematics papers, research papers and books. He said, no, every day I spend time doing mathematics and I really love it. And this was just last year. Mrs. Call has encyclopedic knowledge of history. She belongs to the generation where partition took place and they moved from Lahore to Lucknow, Mrs. Kaul. Professor Kaul was in Ajmer, they were not married that time. She was young. And she has knowledge about the Indian history over several, hundreds of years and what was special about different parts. While at IIIT, I asked her, you teach or you at least have discussions and relate your own personal experience also. But she said, no, no, no. Just like Professor Kaul, very little bit shy, I should say, or low key. So the knowledge which they have, they share, but in a very low key manner. Thank you. And I met him when I was at University of Hyderabad on behalf of IIT Kanpur. And people said there is a retired professor of IIT Kharagpur. I went and met him. And, as passionate about the subject, going to library of University of Hyderabad. And he told me why he chose Hyderabad. It has good medical facilities and good mathematics department.
I may add one thing now that I didn't want to say because he's here. If he were not here, then I'll say, but now Professor Sangal has helped me very much, and I am very grateful to him. When I was in 2005 or 4, I was very ill. I was at Care Hospital, and one day, doctor had told my wife that there is a 20% chance of his surviving. Professor Sangal had to go. I didn't want to say in his face. I thought, if you are not there, I'll tell this. Professor Sangal arranged with the boys to stay outside intensive care unit and arranged 2 boys daily to sleep in the floor. I'm very grateful to them. One of them was, I forgot his name. I don't even remember their name. They used to sleep outside on the floor. I was at Care Hospital, Banjara Hill, and my house was here. They asked my wife and daughter to go back, and they used to sleep there. And that boy, 2 boys per day used to stay and sleep outside on the floor. I'm so grateful. And I'm alive because of them.
Sir,
And
sir, I didn't. The whole class wanted to be there and help you. I couldn't stop them. And they made rounds and they would be there at the Care Hospital. And when the doctor said, we are going to lose him. And Professor Kaul, he had a mask, oxygen, and he made signs to me. I know what my problem is. My ranges may be off, but I need this medicine, homeopathy medicine. And my wife said, I will go and tell the doctor, we have to get him that medicine. But then they control the sodium balance. And with the, yes, sodium imbalance was the problem. And with the homeopathic medicine was actually correcting that. So we got him out and we were all, frankly, we were, very fearful that we will lose you. Thank you.
that I'll just take one, add on more. That reminds me, there was a girl, Kritika, in one of my class, and she used to bring 2 ballpoints daily, and for my attendance, I used to take one pen from her to take the attendance. And the other girl told me, why do you ask me after class, why do you take? I also bring 2 pens. I said, because I have taught her brother. And he was the same chap who slept outside care in the ICU of the care. Huh? Pradi, yeah. Pradi, yeah. Pradi. Thank you very much. Yeah, Pradi, yeah. Pradi, are you present there? No, he is with Google. I think he's with Google in America. I met Kirkar 5 years back. I was there in Gurgaon. People at Kritika, I asked, they came and they were kind enough to come. Kritika. Yes. I told that girl because I've taught her brother also, I know her. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, not at all. I think it was when we started the institute, we were so fortunate to have Professor Kaul. You know, it was as if there's a signal from God that such a wonderful professor coming from Kharagpur and settling down just 3-4 kilometers away from IIIT. Professor Sangal in University of Hyderabad, such an unlikely place for a computer science professor from IIT Kanpur to be there, with the linguistics faculty there in, linguistics had a strong group, I think, there. So he was there. And Satyam had asked him to advise them on certain things. And Satyam decided to set up a school here. So that's how it was so fortunate for the institution and personally for me that to find them here. Professor Govind Rajlu in the IBM school here. So, and then other Professors Marathe, husband and wife for English, because initially we needed all these basics. And for physics, we got a mechanical engineering professor, Professor D.N. Reddy. So I think we were the ones who were exceptionally fortunate to have such gifted and accomplished, people from academia who came forward to help us when it was not even a university, it was just an institution with tremendous dreams. So, and but I claim the credit for making the timetable for the very first, the first semester, and insisting that it will start at, some 8 o'clock in the morning and with mathematics. So I think that tradition also we continued for some time. So, but we really enjoyed having the 50 students. Yesterday I was mentioning that in May we had decided that this year itself, come what may, we are going to start the academic program. We're not going to wait for next academic year. There were lots of suggestions that we should start in 99. It will take 1 year to prepare everything. We said nothing doing, we are going to do it now. And so, but everything came together, and sir, the rankings now indicate that this is the #1 institution in AI in India. So this is something absolutely extraordinary for a new institution, an institution without formal funding from governments to have accomplished. And all the credit goes to the wonderful faculty and especially to you for helping us out and being such a wonderful professor of mathematics for this institution. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I wish I deserve all this.
Sir.
Sir, there's another question from online. So, Mr. Sushant Pandey, he says, your first class for our batch 2001 is still remembered. Your memories from 2001 batch and your vision for Triple IT going forward. What is your vision for Triple IT?
The future of triple IT, and I think it is already shining. I think it's already shining. A number of them have, say Vipul and Kritika. Kritika also has her company. A number of them, I forget their names now. They have started their own company, and as I said at that time, that I think one student somewhere in 2008 or so came. He was one of my students in early classes. He said in America, they couple 5 IIT, Indian National Bangalore, and Triple IIT Hyderabad together, all others. This is one student told me. 5 IITs only, old IITs, Indian National and Triple IIT Hyderabad. They club together, all others. So that is it. So they are already making names. And the future depends on it. One thing I may reveal, if Mr. Swani will excuse me, when he used to select the faculty, he used to say, अब IIT कानपुर वाले ज़्यादा हो गए, IIT खड़गपुर वाले पीछे रह गए. In Hindi, he will tell me. My apologies. I am revealing one of your secrets.
Thank you, sir. There is also one comment from Saurav Khurana, who recalls the time that he was your TA and how he helped you grade the answer scripts, etc. And he mentioned, I will always remember your trademark beginning, if you recall.
What did I say?
Saurav Khurana, your opening, before you say something, you said, if you recall, this happened. That's what he's remembering. Anyway, it was, but I take credit to be the oldest person here for whom he gave a grade. He taught me a course in my very last semester in IIT Kharagpur, 10th semester, that is spring of 1984, and I was in his optimization methods class, and in that class, actually, I was the one who after BTech thought I had studied enough, didn't want to do any higher studies, whereas everybody else was doing how to go to this university. Those days, the primary thing all the IIT graduates did is to find a university to go to apply a year ago, etc. And I was just enjoying watching the fun from the side. So when he gave the midsum marks, he went around, asked every one of the 18 students in the computer science class, not too many, what are you doing next? What are you doing? Somebody said, I'm going to University X, I'm going to University Y, I'm waiting for something. He came to me, I said, I'm still waiting for a job. I hadn't got a job by then, this is March or so. He said, so you're not going abroad for studies? He said, no, both ho gaya. Then the whole class, the rest of the class, he said, no, how he enjoyed going in Germany or US, how the academics is different there. One of the things he said, if you are 50, he was teaching somewhere, and he couldn't find parking when he came to the class. And he was 15 or 20 minutes late to the class. And the people very calmly said, when are you going to compensate those 20 minutes of the classes? He said, this is said without any anger, any malice. It's a matter of fact. It's your contract, it's your side of the contract. So then he told me, you should not think, you should study more, you should not think. I also said, I was a little bit idealistic. I said, I don't like to go abroad, I don't want to stay abroad, etc. He said, if you are studying, you should go abroad. If you don't like it, you study, come back and work here. This is what he said. I don't know what hit me. And in 15 years later, 14 years, 16 years later, I was here as faculty member, and I was pleasantly surprised to see C.N. Kaul also being here. And I remember walking up to him and telling him that I could follow both your advice, both go abroad, get a degree, and come back and teach here. So thank you very much, sir. And look at the attendance and the interest in your session here is really made this entire 25th anniversary alumni meet worth organizing like this. Thank you very much. Please come back here as often as you can. We already made you an emeritus professor. We'll send you a car and bring you here whenever you want. If you want to sit in the library or talk to somebody.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful to you. And
there are 36. Beyond this, I don't know, I estimate about 100 here. Another 36 students are online watching this, and few also ask questions, right? Yes. Thank you very much.
Call, sir. Sir, here, sir. So, backbencher, sir. Sir, I am from 2002 batch, sir. And we still remember your class, sir. And your positivity and energy, sir. It is something that inspired us and made us what we are here today. And all of us who are here and who are not present here are your milestones which you have achieved in your life, sir. We are all your milestones, sir. Sir, we are very thankful to you, sir. Keep inspiring us with your energy and positivity, sir. Thank you, sir.
I would request all of you guys to remain seated because we have another session happening just right now in a few minutes. I would also like to inform all the alumni that there's a board outside wherein which you can write about any of your favorite memories at your time at IIIT and put it on that board. The panel discussion is just about to start shortly, so all of those who have gone for a tea break can, I would. So I have the honor of also introducing the moderator as well as the panelists for the fireside chat with alumni in civil service. So today, this evening is moderated by Shri Jayesh Ranjan sir, who is an IAS. He is a principal secretary to the government of Telangana, Industries and Commerce Department, Information Technology, Electronics and Communications Department. The panelists for today are Tarun Nayak sir, who's an IPS. He was from the IIIT BTech CSE batch of 2002 to 2006. Himanshu Jain, who is the IAS officer. He is from the batch IIIT Hyderabad MS CSE batch of 2009 to 2014. Chandrakant Reddy, sir, who is an IRS officer. He is from the IIIT Hyderabad BTech batch of 2007 to 2011. And finally, Ms. Garima Agarwal, IAS officer. She is from the IIIT Hyderabad MS batch, ECE, from 2010 to 2016. So I would like to welcome all of you on stage. To start the panel discussion.
She's on the way, is it? We'll start with, maybe leave the corner seat for Garima. Please take these 3 seats. So thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and warm welcome to Tarun, Himanshu, and Chandrakant. I was told that Garima will be joining shortly. So since all 3 of you have already been introduced, let me straight away ask each of you to reflect briefly. How did you decide to join the civil services? Was it a decision taken before coming to IIIT or after coming here? See, the reason I ask this question is I didn't go to an engineering school, but I went to a very elite business school. And after joining that business school, I realized that this is not my cup of tea and I should do something else. And I decided to appear in the civil services exams. So how has it been for you? I mean, tell a little bit about where did it all begin? So, Tarun, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Himanshu.
So good morning to all the esteemed faculty and IIIT members present here. I'm Himanshu Jain. So coming to the question, sir, before IIIT, before entering into IIIT, I was not very much aware about the UPSC civil services. I joined IIIT in 2009, then entered into the world of coding, which everybody here enters. And then in 2012, I joined Amazon as an intern and started working there for 3 months. There I realized this computer job is not for me, because it was for three or 4 months I used to do the same work again and again, to doing some coding work for something which I was not able to see at that moment, which was being implemented in USA. So I thought ki let's move to something else. Then I explored my options on those 3 months, and then I decided I'll attempt for civil services.
Wonderful. So I'll give this feedback to Amazon. I know their HR head quite well.
So good morning, everyone. I mean, similar to Himanshu, I had no clue that we all know what civil servants are growing up, But the only thing before entering IIIT, only thing it was in my mind was to get into a college where you would, I mean, you study maths, physics, chemistry, and you get into a good college. That's all the only thing which we knew before getting into IIIT. And after getting into IIIT also, I would say at that time, I don't know how the scenario now, but not many students from IIIT actually go to civil services. So when I was about to graduate in 2011, we had a talk which Tarun sir had come to campus. So he's the first IIITian whom we have met who is in civil services. So, and again in 2013, one of my batchmate, Pankaj Kumawat, he joined Indian Police Service. So at that time, I was working with in software industry. I was with NVIDIA for some time and Qualcomm with some time. So I don't say that I didn't like the work, but I felt that that was not my cup of tea, and I was looking for something else. So at that time, of course, after seeing a batchmate who is into services, and already that thought being there in mind, so I thought I'll also explore. So I went to Delhi and I studied and got into services.
Very nice. So, Tarun.
Good morning, everyone. Sir, I am of the generation where parents have only two options for their children. Either you become engineer or you become doctor. Rest all are secondary. So when I thought means when I was in school, I was impressed with civil services. So my parents and everyone in their generation said कि लड़के को कुछ या तो इंजीनियर या डॉक्टरी कर लेने दो, उसके बाद ये सारी चीजें करा लेना, कम से कम नौकरी तो रहेगी, कोई डिग्री मिल जाएगी तो नौकरी तो रहेगी. Then I came in triple IT. Here I didn't started any preparation. One of my batchmates, Sumit June, we two were very interested for services. But after graduating from here, I got job in Deloitte. Then I started parallelly preparing for civil services. And then I talked to few of persons who were already doing the preparations. And after talking to them, they said, Ki, if you want to appear in next year's exam, you come to, I went to Delhi, to come to Delhi and start preparing, or else forget about it. So then I quit the job because that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to try, means I don't know what result would be, but I wanted to give a fair and honest attempt in that. I quit my job. I still remember it was only 1.5 months into the job here only in Hyderabad, Deloitte. When I went to my HR, he was totally shocked and he couldn't believe. When I said, I want to quit, I want to resign. So his first reaction was, in which company have you got another job? So when I said, no, I didn't get any job, he was not able to believe. He said, he thought I was lying. But then I quit and started preparing. One of my school friend was also there with me in Delhi. We both prepared. And luckily, I got selected and I'm into this service.
So you're kind of saying that there were also some parental expectations that you can get into civil services and all that. But
yes, sir. I would credit this to my father. He somehow means he had this thing that I should prepare for civil services, and luckily I got selected.
But anyway, I'm very happy for all three of you. You have done well. I know about your careers. All of you are doing very well. Considered to be amongst the best of younger lot of civil servants. But let me also ask this again to all three of you. Having spent 4 years here, 4 years in, you would have all spent 4 years, or some of you have done dual degrees. So you spent five years, isn't it? But let me also tell you that while you have spent 5 years, the two of you have done 4 years. Garima has also done 5 years. I have done 8.5 years here. I'm on the board since the last 8.5 years. So, but my question is that even though you chose to get into civil services, you turned down good jobs like Deloitte and NVIDIA, Qualcomm, Amazon. What do you think you have benefited from the most of this 4 or 5 years of your triple IT education? What is it that has benefited you to be efficient, to perform effectively, to be more focused? What do you credit Triple IT with?
So when I entered into the triple IT in 2009, I was not very studious. I was not very. Uh, I was a very normal student, and uh, whenever I encountered any problem in my first semester, I used to discuss with my friends and professors, and they always used to help me, and gradually, matlab, the amount of work pressure, the amount of the thinking that is involved.
Let us pause and welcome Ms. Garima Agarwal. Go ahead, please carry on.
So the amount of thinking that is involved, the amount of hard work that you have to do here, you have been given an assignment and you are just left uh, alone to do it. You are just leave. आपको अपने ऊपर छोड़ दिया जाता है. But the professors are approachable for guidance always, but the assignments are tough, and you need to go through a lot of material to solve them. You need to discuss with your friends. So I think that helped me a lot. Ki, given a situation, given a tough situation, you can always solve it with proper guidance and proper help with your colleagues.
Wonderful. Chandrakant?
Sir, I would say when I entered Triple IT, my worldview was very narrow. Like when we entered, the only thing we could think was to get one job. But after getting into Triple IT Hyderabad, so here, apart from, of course, being a core research institute, there is always space and encouragement for people who want to do different things in life. There is always emphasis to do your other, humanities or social sciences related. We had an option of choosing for electives mandatorily. We have to do it, but we had a choice. So we all have chosen what we would want to. So that gave, and also we had a good library where it's not just about the programming and other computer science related courses. So we had an exposure, and also I had the opportunity of being. So Felicities are cultural and annual cultural festival. I was coordinator of that fest during my time. So that gave a different kind of exposure of going out and meeting people. So I would say my worldview has widened. That is most important thing. And second thing is there is a inherent philosophy that so the getting job or doing good in your expertise is one thing, but at the end of the day, it should serve the larger public in it should benefit the larger public at large. So that is the core theme of what we were taught in our Jivan Vidya and other human values courses. So I think this is the one of the most important value which was instilled in us, which helped in choosing a different career or doing good in wherever we are doing.
Tarun?
Sir, government में sir, you can understand, Ajay sir or Seema ma'am can understand. In government, there is something like if there is a work and it has to be done, means it has to be done, and there is a time limit, and you have to logically break that thing and come to the actual point how it has to be done, and result it has to be done. Sir, आप लोग समझ सकते होंगे सर, इतना लंबा सर्विस है सर. So triple IT में what I got, firstly the ability to logically think and break the problem to the core, to actual where it can be solved. Secondly, the time limit which needs to be adhered. I would not mince my words, but the exams होते थे यहाँ पे. I'm sorry, I will switch between Hindi and English. I hope everyone is comfortable. तो एग्ज़ाम में हम लोग इंजीनियर्स का एक बड़ा वो रहता है कि हम लोग 2 दिन पहले एग्ज़ाम की तैयारी करते हैं, और 2 दिन पहले एग्ज़ाम की तैयारी करके और एग्ज़ाम को पास करने की कला सिर्फ इंजीनियर्स में ही होती है, ये किसी और में नहीं होती है. तो वो कला ट्रिपल IT से मिली है, जो कि कम समय में प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना, लॉजिकली सॉल्व करना और लॉजिकली सोचना, दिस इज द कोर थिंग which I got. Definitely, यहाँ पे जो माहौल था, my batchmates, everyone was hard working. So the hard work which can be put on for something that is indefinite, and to persevere for something that I have taken from triple IT. I have not taken any IT skill from here. अभी भी जॉब में मुझे बोलते हैं, अरे तुम तो ट्रिपल आईटी के पास आउट हो, तुम ये आईटी वाला काम कर लो. तो मैं बोलता हूँ, यार मैंने कीबोर्ड छोड़ा है, डंडा पकड़ा है, तो कम से कम डंडा ही चलवा लो, कीबोर्ड वापस से क्यों चलवा रहे हो. So even in morning also I was thinking कि it's good that I have chosen what I wanted to be. Otherwise here I don't know where I would have been, but I am happy where I am doing the job.
So, Garima, let me bring you up to speed. We have we have discussed two topics so far. One is, how did each of you get this idea of getting into the civil services? Where did it all begin? And the second question is that while you have chosen to get into this stream, the civil services that is, what is it that you picked from your 5 years in triple IT? What really matters to you the most? So answer both these two questions together, please.
Very good morning to respected senior Jayesh sir, Sahani sir, all my professor, director sir, call sir, respected panelists on the stage, all the faculty and students of Triple IT. First of all, heartfelt apology to come late, sir. I almost had a family emergency at home, I had in-laws over, so this is how I got late, sorry.
In-laws always create problems.
Sir, sir. So, thank you, sir, for understanding, sir. So now coming to the first part of the question, sir, why civil services? This is one pet question they ask at civil services interview also. But I'll give the real answer. So basically, I come from a Marwari family where the usual path for girls are to get married after graduation. But somehow, luckily, both my sister and I were sort of good at studies, so we were given an option to either go into medical or JE. Only if you get into one of these good colleges, you'll be allowed to work, else get married. Then, while I was, so 11th, 12th, I went to Kota, the usual path, got into triple IT, and I got into ECE dual, and I was fairly enjoying my work here. But while I was in third year, my sister got into civil services. She's 2013 batch Indian Postal Services. So that sort of gave me that hope that yes, one of the Marwari girls can clear civil services, and now it was easier to convince parents to let me write that. Secondly, at the same time, at Triple IT also I was exploring different options because I had a dual degree. I was into research, so that was one of the options to pursue research further. So I was at crossroads whether to go for GRE, study abroad, or to sit for placements, or for UPSC. I sort of did a SWOT analysis of myself. So a lot of people say they come to UPSC to give back to the society. Yes, that was one of the major reasons. But I also did a SWOT analysis of my own personality. Like sir said, he was probably better at danda rather than keyboard. I was also sort of falling into that category. Ki, C programming assignments में किसी तरह manage कर लेती थी, समय पे submit कर लेना. So gradually I had become good at it, but probably wasn't enjoying it as much as my other batchmates. And I sort of saw that I would be able to contribute more into this profession, and that will bring me back much more satisfaction. So that is where the decision came, and then immediately after my 5th year, I started preparing for civil services. Now, second part of the question, what is it that I learned in triple IT for 5 years? So,
which has improved your work efficiency
in services?
In the service.
Okay, sir. So, sir, triple IT, I entered as a confused teenager. I think all sir will agree, but got out as a confident graduate adult. So that much I have to give to college. What I would say that even though it's considered to be a very geek college in terms of its academics and assignments, there are quite a few small platforms which let you explore. So there were quite a lot of student clubs. I was part of Asha Kiran, where we used to teach slum children. I was part of a magazine called Ping, where we used to publish the magazine every quarter, and I used to get to read. then it was one of the very few engineering colleges where humanities were compulsory and not just optional. So Professor Nankumar Acharya sir, abhi hai, Nankishwar sir, he here, yeah, yeah. So he used to take some of the most interesting lectures on humanities that grew my subject and probably made my mains preparation very easy. Then library was something always 24/7 open that again gave me option to read, learn. Then student parliament, placement cell, so all those जो एक leadership का कीड़ा होता है उसको कहीं ना कहीं स्प्राउट करने का मौका मिला कॉलेज में और आई थिंक वो चीज़ टू बी एबल टू लीड to be able to do something new, to do something innovative is something definitely helping me in my job. And otherwise, a little bit of technical know-how definitely helps. I remember I was in ACUT at Yadadri Bhongir district, and it was peak of COVID. So I, along with my collector, prepared a live dashboard to show the life status of all COVID patients of my district. So at any point, I knew who was at the 13th or 14th day and the red-orange category of severity, whether the medicine reached or not. And it was completely decentralized. I simply wrote a small code, made the dashboard. It ran for 6 months. It helped the district administration in streamlining the process. So that I must thank Triple IT, that confident it gave me. Even if I would have got stuck, I took help of some of my batchmates or my husband to complete that work. So those kind of, then last year, sir, if you remember, we had this PO17, the whole exercise of transfers, where we had humongous task of posting about 1 lakh employees into multiple zones. And so it was a very difficult task. And for 1 month, entire administration was working all nights. Because we had to allow, in my district alone, I had 27,000 teachers, and we had to allot them based on their preference, locality, and everything. Physically, it was very tedious task. Ultimately, went on to write a code and tried to streamline, tried showing to collector sir. He agreed ki okay, let's do it, and then cross check it manually also. So that really reduced the burden, and that a lot of gave transparency. I remember a lot of teachers unions were sitting in the hall, and when we were doing manually, they had this doubt कि कुछ गड़बड़ तो नहीं है. And the moment we got that code on board, we got their confidence कि नहीं, अब जो हो रहा है वो transparently हो रहा है, computer cannot go wrong. And that really helped us when a lot of some of the districts faced problem. Our district could do that exercise very smoothly and much faster, and while keeping everybody in the loop. So I think these little things and background of IT from Triple IT definitely helps me every time there is a challenge, technological challenge in administration. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. That's wonderful, Garima. In fact, as the IT secretary, I should award you for these initiatives. And Tarun, you should pick her example. It is not very late. You can still bring technology. Any good example from the two of you also? Have you applied any IT solutions in your work?
So similarly, sir, I was SDM in Mohali when the COVID struck. So we took a project with IIT Madras in which we analyzed the mobile data based on the polling stations, which are the hot areas where the patients are more, the COVID positives are more. So we put all the data dumps from the mobile tower and tried to analyze these are the zones which we should declare quarantine and which we should not declare quarantine. Similarly, sir, IT tools are used everywhere in almost 2 to 3 months. There is a requirement of new IT tool. For example, recently we are using Google Dashboard for showing our Ayushman card status. So these things are keep on, we are using them regularly.
Very nice, very nice. Chandrakant?
Sir, one thing I could recollect was when I was posted as HQ to DGFT in New Delhi. So there are a lot of tapal, I mean, a lot of letters we receive at a higher authority. which were marked downwards. So there was no system of tracking them. So it was very, I mean, it is not a great innovation or anything. It is just tweaking of your Excel sheet a bit. And I just helped it with my special secretary, sir. And it was so useful so that he could track the every tapal which was marked by him and how by how many days, how much, I mean, he could set the priority. So it helped immensely, like organizing and having control over the entire organization, which is of 1,000 employees.
Wonderful. No, actually, you may think that it is a very trivial thing, but it improves your internal processes quite a lot. If you now do some kind of a outcome study, you will find lots of improvements in your work processes also. So Tarun, up still, you have grabbed the mic. You still want to say something?
Yes, sir.
After making a bold statement that I have given up on keyboard.
No, sir, you may not feel like doing something, but in government, if you are you are pushed to do something, you have to do something. Two instances I would sir like to tell very briefly, sir. We have every state have a organization called SCRB, State Crime Records Bureau, and CCTNS is something which is done in every state for digitalization of criminal record for police. So when I was posted in SCRB for very brief time, the CCTNS application in Madhya Pradesh was still in its growing stage, and being knowledgeable about the background, the computer IT thing, I can understand the problem easily and decide upon the solutions, and the solutions given then it were applied. Though I was transferred to some other posting, but due to that, the CCTNS versions gradually improved, and now they are functioning nicely. Second thing I want to tell, when I was posted as SP of Sivni district, there is a district called named Sivni in Madhya Pradesh. When I was SP there, so there was apps were a new thing in that. Madhya Pradesh is not very, means it's still a lot of rural areas in that. So there I developed an app for Sivni police all by myself. I would not say that, I all by myself, though I used some tools, and then I launched it in district, and it worked fairly well, and it was of a good help to public, so that they can lodge their complaints and connect to police and tell their grievances. So these two main things I have done. Though still, sir, I would like to say I am more comfortable with danda than keyboard.
So let's move this conversation to a different track. See, all of you, I'm sure you are on WhatsApp groups with your batchmates and you have get-togethers and all that. When you see the lives of your batchmates and your own life, I mean, I'm sure many of your batchmates are in the corporate sector, or some of them could be in the academics, some of them possibly are in the US. Obviously, many of them would be earning much more than you. So how do you feel about yourself? Do you compare in a positive way? Or how do you think? I mean, be honest about this question. When you look at your own life vis-a-vis your batchmates, how do you feel about it?
Sir, honestly, it was difficult while we were preparing. So our batchmates got placed, say, in 2015. And for me, that 2015 to 17 was a phase of preparation in Delhi in a isolated room with no facilities. And that's when we used to see all the pictures in Bay Area being put up in social media. So as a human, that was little difficult. But there was absolutely no feeling of jealousy or anything because we were confident about our decision. Now that I'm into services, my answer will be little different because my husband is into still IT. He works for Google. He is also from Triple IT. Then my batchmate, now husband. So that way I feel I'm still enjoying both best of both the worlds.
Yeah, you are in a lucky position. But let us ask the others.
Yes, sir. Garima is absolutely lucky. So, sir, in the initial years, I used to feel bad that I didn't enter into the software world where my batchmates are having good jobs in the USA, or some are having in Finland, England, some are posting pictures on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So, but gradually over the period of time, I realized I used to, then whenever I used to feel bad about it, I used to apply for leave for 7 days, and then I push for some good holiday. And then after coming back, I realized that it's for 6 days, this period gets over of this feelings of bad feelings. So now I am comfortable with the government system, and I also realized the retention rate in the government is the maximum in the IS or in the services, and I think, and after interviewing a lot of people who have left IS and went into the private sector and doing jobs in the private sector, I so I'm fairly convinced that I'm fine with wherever I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. Chandrakant?
Sir, as Garima said, preparation phase was difficult, but then I went to preparation after having worked for a couple of years. So and also I was fortunate to get into service in my very first attempt. So I never had to think much about my decision, and so far I have never regretted to be where I am right now.
So Tarun, a picture from Bay Area versus a picture from Shivni.
Sir,
Shivni, pataya, but I've never even heard of this district. You
Shivni,
really
sir.
worked in some very remote kind of place.
Sir, you might have heard about Page National Park, sir.
Page National.
It's in that district, sir. It's bordering Nagpur. Sir, I have never regretted the picture of Bay Area, and from starting, I wanted to be where I am, and I think if I had continued in IT sector, I would have been failure. My CGP was something which no one wants to remember, so I have also conveniently forgotten. So, sir, I really enjoy my job, and 14 years into the service, sir, I am totally satisfied and very grateful that I am in this job, sir.
But one thing which I can tell you, that as you kind of grow older in the service, one of the most satisfying things will be the kind of impact that your action is creating, the institutions that you are building, the mentoring that you are providing, the lives that you are impacting, which I'm sure none of your batchmates. As I said, many of my batchmates also, they're presidents and CEOs of their companies, but I feel that the kind of change that I'm able to create, none of them. In fact, my batchmate is the head of Google India, but still, I feel that I'm doing much more significant work than what he is doing.
Very true, sir. Very true, sir.
So, one couple of kind of last questions. See, yesterday also there was an event here. I was here. So I noticed that the director, Professor PJN, was pushing the alumni to contribute more and more and more to this institution. So what can you do? Have you brought your checkbooks? Okay. Okay. So that is one. Please commit before hundreds of people what you will be willing to do for the institute. And also, what is your advice to students? I know that there are some, while majority of the audience here are alumni, but I'm sure students also, current students also will get to know what we are discussing, what we are talking. So what is your advice? If someone now also wants to get into civil services, choose this kind of path that all of us have chosen, would you dissuade them or would you encourage them? What would you tell them? So let's start with you, Tarun.
Sir, I think by paycheck we cannot contribute as much as Bay Area people can contribute. But in terms of, sir, human resource, sir, I think the last lecture I gave, I created two of civil services, one Pankaj and one Chandrakant. So next, sir, we can guide people here who wants to do civil services, and that is something which will be the greatest contribution which we can give to our alma mater, sir.
So, see, as we all know, like the e-governance has already taken up, and most of the processes are being transformed within government also. So, and also, I'm sure there are a lot of students who want to know what exactly it to be a civil servant. So maybe if we can think of a platform where we can encourage students from third year or second year to do an internship with wherever we are posted or with our colleagues, so that they get both an experience of what is day-to-day working of civil servant would be, and at the same time we can also definitely gain from the expertise of triple and build small programs or platforms which will be useful and helpful for our own performance in the government. So that is one thing which I would like to work upon and come back to Professor PJN and other faculty here.
Sir, I agree with Tarun sir. The contribution that we can make to Triple IT is, so we have a lot of projects and the government do require a lot of IT projects in every domain or in every 6 months that we need. So if a platform can be created where we can flash our government project and Triple IT can help us in building those and helping those projects in execution of those projects. Second, sir, uh, the uh, any student who wants to have guidance or who wants to choose this path of civil services, we are always happy to help and always accessible and available for any kind of mentorship and guidance. And third, if they want to have any exposure with the government, wherever we are posted right now, uh, they are most welcome. And for Triple IT, there will be open doors. They can welcome, and they are welcome all the time. Thank you.
I think my answer will be pretty much similar to what my seniors said. Uh, Number one, my contribution can be in the direction of guiding future aspirants, any of the triple ITians who want to appear for civil services, will be more than willing to guide and help and handhold. Second contribution can be in the form of knowledge partnership, because they also mentioned, and thankfully because I'm from the Telangana cadre itself, uh, we have, if any such projects in the districts or anywhere comes up where we need IT support, and we have a secretary for IT himself here. So if anywhere there is a possibility, opportunity is something where I can help to create that opportunity for college. And third thing, in terms of human resources, because as we are posted again, any sort of human resources or any such contribution in that direction is required. And as far as paycheck is concerned, I'll definitely try to motivate some of my batchmates who are posted in Bay Area to contribute in a big number. Thank you.
No, no, wonderful. Great sentiments by all of you. But just to let all of you know, in Telangana, we actually collaborate quite a lot with Triple IT on interesting projects. So, for example, Professor Rajan is there. We are doing some geospatial work with him. Professor Jawahar is here. He runs a very interesting project on mobility called iRaste. Professor Krishna Reddy does lots of work on agriculture. I don't see Professor Verma here, but he's doing lots of this Bhashini is a part of the very important which Ajay Sani sir started in Meiti. So lots of ways in which you can draw on the resources of Triple IT. But of course, you'll have to pay for all of it. It doesn't come free. But at this happy note, I want to thank all my fellow panelists, also colleagues in the government, for sharing their insights and being role models for everyone, all your batchmates, all your alumni, and also upcoming students for the great work that all of you do. Thank you very much. Thank you.
He has to leave, but you can continue and Q&A with interaction with students or people here or people online.
So before you leave, a small token of appreciation from us. So the floor is open for any questions. Who would like to start off with the questionnaire? So I have a question. What does it mean to be a civil servant?
बहुत ही खतरनाक क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया. Actually, it's a job. It's a government job. Our employer is a government, and we are assigned to do a job. Means there are various posts to which we are assigned, and there are specific duties of that post which we are supposed to do. So, being a civil servant means you have to do that set of duties, and for that there are rules and regulations, and in that set of framework we have to do that job. That is all a civil servant, if I can tell you in very short.
I mean, definitely it's a job, but a job with a purpose. And I mean, if I compare to, let us say, to the previous job which I did, I would say the interaction with the people and the ability to see that what you do actually impacts, I would say is more in civil services. It's, I mean, in fact, I would say the impact which any research which we do in triple IT would, I would say, is a have a more powerful and long lasting impact. But the person who is doing it, not everybody may or may not comprehend. So I thought I was not in a position to comprehend that. So I thought civil services would be a better thing for me.
Same question. I think it's a same. It's a job, and it's partly regulatory, partly developmental. So you focus on both areas. You regulate also, you develop, and uh, the government allows you to, and government provides you some autonomy to do better wherever you are posted. So it's that it's similar to the private where you do better and you do good work. Similarly, in government, you do better and you good work, and the impact is larger, little larger. Yes. Toughest challenge that I have faced in my career till now. I think the toughest challenge would be the COVID years. The initial 3 months when the government announced lockdown was the most toughest, where we have to provide food to the people who were uh, who uh, because everything just got shut down uh, in the midnight. So you have to provide food. You have to lot of migration was happening from one place to other, so you have to arrange for the migration. You have to provide milk for the babies. You have to care for the pet animals who are uh, so there are breeding centers, there are aquariums all around, so you have to take care of those. So you have to take care of so many things were there that nobody would have imagined, and you have to you have to take care of the milk supplies. So you, because milk is a perishable item, milk, if you do not consume milk in the same day, it will get wasted. So you have to ensure that milk from first A to Z reaches Z on time. So I think that, and then train movement started. You have to manage train movement. You have to fill the train. You have to see how many trains in a day. So that was a very learning experience and tough experience for me.
I can't pinpoint any specific challenge because every day it changes. If you submit your C programming first assignment deadline and you thought that is the biggest challenge, next assignment is bigger. So every day in government also it's like that. Every job is a challenge. Every day it's a challenge. But in not in terms of task, but in terms of the idea, I would say So in government, there is no fresh start. You inherit your office. You don't start as an individual, but you are posted as an officer in particular office. So whether you like it or not like it, you will inherit good and bad. So there is a lot of legacy and baggage which you carry. So within that all constraints, you have to excel and you have to do and you have to leave your mark. That I would see as a biggest challenge which we face on day-to-day lives.
I also. Actually, what Chandresh said, uh, there are lot of daily challenges which are coming. Sometimes we are onto some job, but suddenly in midst of that, you got another thing which takes that priority. So priorities keeps on changing, and challenges of works, intangible things, they keep on changing. But in government system, as he said, you are not an individual, you are part of that system. There have been officers who have posted before you, and there will be officers who will be posted after that. But in government, the biggest challenge is to remain sane, because जब भी आप जाओगे, आई थिंक यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, तो लोग, यू विल बी ट्रीटेड लाइक अ प्रिंस, कि अरे साहब, आपसे तो अच्छा कोई नहीं है, ना आपके पहले कोई आया, ना आपके बाद कोई आएगा. So to remain sane is the biggest challenge, and to remain that sanity, that should not let into your head. That is the biggest challenge in government system.
So if Triple IT were to offer help, so what is that help you would find useful?
In policing terms, yes. In terms of cyber security and the new challenges with this bitcoins and artificial intelligence, which are the new challenges for policing, which are going to come up in sooner than we are able to think. So in that thing, Triple IT, if sir agrees, if you can offer some small courses for officers, small courses as in means like 1 week or 15 days kind of course, small courses. So that would be of great help to all the officers over India, because these are some uncharted areas for police and in general for all the civil services. Like AI, sir, is one challenge, sir. Cyber security is one challenge, sir. Blockchain technology is a challenge, sir. Two of my batchmates who are in National Police Academy, they have done a course from Triple IT. Bhushan Borse and Vamsi Krishna, sir. But that was a long course, a 3-4 months course, I suppose, sir. If you can offer some short courses for officer, if even if online courses, sir, that would be of great help to the system, sir.
Sir, right now, so in government, we are sitting with a huge data. So right now, we are in income tax investigation, but so the kind of data we have is unimaginable, sir. So if we can think of a local system, of course, there is a lot being done in terms of data analytics at a central level, but at a officer level or maybe at a regional level also, if we can have of course, we have to figure out the legal framework to do that. But if we can build such platforms which can process that data locally and give inputs to the officers for investigation or identify sectoral tax evasion or any such themes, would be of great help. At individual level, for us, probably, the staying in touch with college itself is a learning in terms of what is happening in technology field, because I realize that that actually helps in my work also. We may not know the technical know-how and the particulars, but at least we should know what is happening in the technology area so that we can think of bringing it into government wherever we are working.
So currently, I'm also doing a course in ISB, which is called AMPPP, Advanced Management program in public policy. And I think IIIT should also offer a similar course on technical side. So government is because over my limited experience, I can say government is working with the land management system, which is 100 years old. Currently, what is in our Punjab or Haryana's, for say, the lands management system, the revenue system is the same which was being introduced by the British era. We did not upgrade it, we just simply computerized the record and digitized it. So I think a course on these same lines, AI, ML, or how to better manage the land, how can we have a one-to-one online transactions like Flipkart of land parcels. If something similar course can be developed and officers can be trained, that would be much beneficial.
Uh, yes, number one, in terms of training, because we do need a lot of training into technical aspects, because most of our entrance ways of entering all the group A, B, C, D services, that doesn't really necessarily require technical knowledge. But while we work in the government, there are a lot of places we do need a fair understanding of data and data processing. So I think some kind of small training for our senior officers, junior officers, and subordinates can be planned at IIIT. Second level is something in every department is making their own apps, solutions, portals to streamline the process. He gave an example of milk, which is a very big problem in Anganwadi centers because we are supplying milk to the pregnant and lactating women. So that whole supply chain management or land or it is in HR management, the whole transfer posting and the whole system of seat allotment. So every department at some level requires certain solutions. So those small solutions can be provided with by IIIT. What I feel is that IIIT has its USP in its research. But if we can have a combination of some small scale solutions along with a long term R&D, it can help more to the government, because government sometimes needs immediate solutions. That okay, we face a problem, we want a portal up in a month time or in a week's time. So if some of those kind of teams can be developed here, maybe by our own third and fourth year students, because some of our solutions are not very high end, they don't require very high technological point. From that point of view, it doesn't require very high end solutions, simple solutions, but which are user friendly is something we need in the government. So if some teams like that can be developed. uh, uh, One of the experience that I had was that in my previous districts, I wanted to develop a couple of simple apps for health department, where I was testing all the women of menstrual age for their anemia. I remember we have developed IT tower by the government in every tier 2, tier 3 cities. There was a small group of 5 students from a local engineering college of Karimnagar. They were just this young graduates. They formed a small company. They sit there itself. They literally made that thing for me in 3 days. So for me at that point, the timing and was more important and accessibility was more important. So, and until it was brought into use, they were always available 24/7. So there was a bug at night, 2 o'clock, whatever, they'll respond, make it usable. And these kind of things. And after me, I gave reference, and now they are getting so much business. A lot of departments are referring them for making those small solutions for different departmental needs. So if some of that kind of needs, a small team at IIIT can be developed like that to provide low-key solutions, I think it will be helpful, especially at district administration level. Bigger projects can be pursued at secretariat levels. Thank you.
Hi everybody, namaste. So before I ask questions, I would like to introduce myself. Garima knows me. So I'm Prabhakar, Student Life Office, managing Student Life Office, non-academic part here. So my first question is, have you ever got an opportunity to help the education sector of the India while you are working with your respective departments and the areas? And my second question is, before I came here, I was working with the Women Development and Child Welfare, and I got an opportunity fortunate to get an opportunity to work with under the team of Shalini ma'am, and followed by I. Ramchandra Reddy sir. Then after that, Anita Rajendra madam. So Anita Rajendra madam. So after that, I realized that I should work with some education institution, and I am here now. And my question is there still any opportunity that we would like to, if we want to work with you, not leaving the triple IT, let us say some weekends or some holidays, where we would like to work with our students who are into the civil servants? Is it possible? Our system is our system allows that? That's my question. That's it.
So first part of your question, whether we have done anything in education sector, right? Yes, definitely we all have, because at district level, almost all departments we engage in one or other capacity. So education sector, both at preschool, which is Anganwadi centers, and also at higher school, we are working closely with them. The system is running for years, so we are just trying to streamline. So we have certain projects of government, for example, Mano Uru Manabadi, which is about developing infrastructure of schools. So that is one aspect. Second aspect, which we observed was a big problem, was teachers' attendance and students' attendance. So that is something now I'm working on. So we've developed an app called Midday Meal app. So number of children who are having midday meal will also show the attendance of the day. So we are trying to measure that attendance and analyze that data end of the week, and try to understand a pattern which mandal is performing bad, or which HM or which school generally has very lower attendance. So those are the things. In terms of quality education, we are also trying to get some NGOs on board who are coming and giving special training to the teachers, opening some reading rooms inside the school to start a library and reading culture. So those are some of the things that we are doing in that sector. Thank you.
Regarding your question that how triple IT students can be associated with civil services, one thing which we need and means students can offer to us is like building up systems or programs or employees. Okay. So no, I am from MP, so I don't know how I can offer something. But for students, for their summer internships or otherwise also, if they are interested in developing some software or some programs for the government, we do really need IT solutions. So they can approach us, or Triple IT can have something in which we can approach Triple IT with the problem, and through students, that solution can be provided to us. Recently, there have been association with other colleges also. So since Triple IT is leading in that, we can do something like that here also.
Actually, you are working in the real field level. We are doing MS and PhD programs. If you encounter any problem that is equivalent to MS and PhD, please try to form a problem statements and send it to us so that we can work on them. Just one para, this is the problem statement. This is the MS level problem, at least one publication. PhD level problem, at least 2 journal publications. I hope you got hundreds of problems every day you encounter. Please do help us. We'll post it on our website. All PhD students start working on them. Because a solution from the PhD can create a significant impact than small solutions. It can create a revolution. Since you are dealing with the day-to-day society, real society, please pose all these problems.
Sir, right now I have this problem, not right now, because I have this problem in mind, and this is going to be a challenge in future. That generation of AI generated images and editing images through AI. So, if something comes up, so it is very difficult for law enforcement agencies to decide whether this is a real picture or some AI generated picture or AI edited picture. So, if some solution can be made, or I don't know if it is existing, that that can tell us whether it's a real image or some AI generated image or AI edited image.
Yes, sir. Sir, currently in Punjab, we are having three main issues. One is the stubble burning. We are unable to find a very cost-effective solution to prevent farmers from stubble burning. Second is, sir, crop diversification. After introducing the system of green revolution and PDS, every farmer has shifted to monoculture, wheat, rice pattern. So we want to break the system and remove the paddy from the cropping pattern system. Third one is the drug problems. That is a law and order. So these three are, I think, other problems.
I have two questions. First one is more personal. Um, I want to know that because you have more impact as you are upper side, you are pressurized and there are a lot of challenges. How you make yourself, when you are down, what approach you adopt in terms of reading book or spirituality or whatnot. And second thing is about system. You told that we in Triple IT as a Earthquake Engineering Research Center, we have worked with NDMA to find out earthquake risk of more than 50 cities, and I have visited 15 cities. I work with DMA, DM, and I saw that as a system, they are they are overloaded. मतलब every file should go to them, and हम जाते हैं कोई धरना करने बैठ गया उसको अटेंड करना है उसको अटेंड करना है so as a system what are your thought will the system will change so that even capable people are not able to give their full thing because of this as a system वो system वैसा बना हुआ है thank you
I couldn't comprehend your second question.
चाहते भी हो तो ये काम कर रहे हो और दूसरा काम आ जा रहा है मतलब everything go through you only. However, if you make a system such that some decision can be taken by some other people so that you can give a time to more important decision.
Okay, I got that. There are systems in government, and there have been hierarchies for a set of works which has to be done by that level of hierarchy. So there are systems in place and they are in execution. But as we work in society, so there are crises which keeps coming, and there are priorities which keeps changing. Sometimes we are onto something, but suddenly some crisis comes, and that things becomes a lesser priority, and that thing which the new crisis becomes first priority. So it's a very dynamic world because we live in society, and society is a very dynamic thing. So systems are there. It may not be perceptible from outside, but internally there are systems, and in that hierarchy, every person has its job cut out, and he or she does their job. The regarding the first part, yes, in every job there are challenges, and there are many ways. Some people read, some people do yoga, they play, sometimes they sleep. So there are many ways to reduce that stress, and uh, it depends on the person to person what he wants to do.
individually for me, I watch sports and I play sport, but it depends on, it's a very personal choice. So whatever suits you. So coming to talking about the lot of priorities and so many things coming in, but that is life. The system is a continuous entity. So when you come there, the more important, I mean, instead of like thinking that you will solve all the problems and it doesn't work like that. So it is a continuous entity. So you have to evaluate that whether you made that impact and you made your contribution and you left your office at a better place or not. So at a bigger level, if you all small contributions will, you know, bring about a bigger impact. So it is not one individual reforming anything, and it is not one instance which, you know, which will reform everything.
Yes, due to time constraints, I think we will shorten the fireside chat. Thank you so much, all of you for coming, taking your time off your busy schedule to come and grace us with your wise words. So this is a token of appreciation from us, and thank you so much for taking your time.
I don't know how many uh, new students are here, but you should not resist yourself from trying or preparing for civil services. It's a very good job, equally good job. And whatever help you need from us, I have given my number to Rohan Gupta. I don't know where he's here or not. So you can have my number. It's, I think I've registered in that alumni app also. So anything, you please feel free to contact me regarding preparation or any kind of help you need for any kind of guidance.
I would like to call upon Professor Call on stage for the memento.
Turn around, please turn around. No, this way, so the camera will capture. Okay, okay. Yeah, so the video and other cameras will capture. Just turn around. Design questions. Keep it free flowing.
I would like to thank all of the students, faculty, as well as the alumni who have been present here throughout both the sessions today. Thank you for coming, and this has been a wonderful session for me to host as well. And finally, thank you so much. I would request all of you guys to stay because I think there's another session happening right now for like a few minutes.
एनर्जी और पॉजिटिविटी है सर अभी भी बता सर मैं सर स्पेशली सर आपकी क्लास के लिए आया हूँ सर तो ये सब तो ठीक है साइड में था सर पर सर ऐसा नहीं करें सर सर आपका आशीर्वाद है सर हम लोगों को सर इतना सर सर
Yeah, we can just stand here. Be careful with this.
ప్లేస్ చూసుకున్నా అయిపోయింది మనందరం ఒకసారి ఉందాం ఇక్కడ కరెక్ట్ రండి మీరు రండి మీకు స్పేస్ దొరికింది ఇక్కడ రా ఇక్కడ ఇక్కడ కొంచెం షార్ట్ మేము ఎక్కడ నిల్చున్నాం కనమాట ఆ ప్రాబ్లం లేదు గాడ్ గిఫ్ట్
First floor.